Ebon.
And I'm William.
And welcome to another episode of the Thick and Thin Podcast. All right, and welcome back for another episode.
Yes, we're here.
We are.
I'm watching the end of the Tigers game as we record, so if there are any expletives related to that, it should be pretty obvious.
There will be expletives.
Not if they don't fuck this up. Oh, we already started. They're winning, so it shouldn't be. I just want to make sure they win. It's almost over.
I feel like
so.
even if you win, you're going to explode with your...
No. Oh, come on. I only do that when it's close games and they are like when they score.
And is it a close game right now?
No, it's 9-1.
Their favorite?
Yeah.
Oh.
If they were losing, I wouldn't have it on.
I still feel like you'll exclaim something.
No. I might do like one of these.
Okay.
I'm
That
professional.
subdued, you'll just be like,
Yeah, I'm a professional podcaster.
okay.
So I don't know. This week is weird. Politics is weird right now. We try not to get into it, but we know. So, but we're gonna try to have some fun here. First of all, follow us on Instagram at Willie_D20 and at Eb_Nick. And if you have any questions or anything, thickthinpod@gmail.com for topics and all that good stuff. You know it. I had, I don't even know what to call it. I want to say like an episode yesterday. Just, I guess it was kind of like Friday night leading into yesterday of just like, fuck everything, you know? Mm-hmm. And it was just like a work thing and just like
Current events thing
and just generally just kind of like burnout. Mm-hmm. I just, drove home in traffic. I'm just like, everybody sucks. And I feel like a lot of people in relationships, when that happens, and it's like, because I know I came home with an attitude.
Oh yeah, you were big grumpy energy.
And I feel like it's really easy to like take that personally from like your end.
No, I didn't think it was because of me.
Or like the opposite end. I know, but it's still like.
Can you hear me better?
You just need to speak up. You need to use your voice like a big girl. Project.
I do project.
No, you don't.
Fine. Go on. Now I'm grumpy. No, I'm just kidding.
But I feel like I don't know. I don't know. Like I know that you don't because you're not stupid, and like you can make that connection. Mm-hmm. And I was already like work is dumb, mm-hmm. And so like you get it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that ability, and they just like get angry because they're like, "Why are you taking that on me?" And it's like I'm not trying to.
Right.
It just is. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just in a bad mood. It doesn't matter what I do or say. It's gonna come off like shitty.
Yeah. Like I said, I get it. I've been there.
I know. Yeah. But again, like it's I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to like give you appreciation. Because it'd be very easy to just be like, all right, well, fuck off. Like, I don't want to like spend time with you. Like, hope you have a shitty night. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, it was like I said. I recognized that feeling in myself to know like, okay, well, I'm gonna just let you unwind, let you chill, and zone in on games or whatever, and I'll be over there. Like I don't know.
Poured a glass of whiskey, and got my D20 ice cube, and I mean, I was still in a shitty mood come Saturday. Even it was and I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, I know what I want to do, but I just feel blah about doing it because I'm just like in a bad mood. So I don't even like playing video games was not even fun because I was just in a bad mood.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Plus, the Tigers were playing like shit the last couple of days. That didn't help.
Aw.
God, dude, when your team loses by like 14-8, like just losing by like ridiculous amounts, it's just like, what am I doing here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I know for me, when I get like that, it's just, I'm not particularly talkative, and I want to put on some like comfort TV and just like not think about it, or play my stupid little mobile game where I don't have to think, or it's just like, suspend the brain for a little bit. I kind of, so I definitely get it.
And then like on Saturday, you were like, well, do you want to like go for a walk and like maybe try this? And I was just like, like it's like, I don't want to call it like depression, but it is like a temporary
form, yeah.
And so like in those moments, it's just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. I barely want to move, if I'm being honest with you. Like but at the same time, it's like, I know I need to. Like, I knew I needed to do something to get out of it, but I didn't want to.
Oh, I get it. Did the walk help?
Yeah. Big time. And I went for, like, I ran a couple laps around a track, so... like I think, and I had mentioned to you even earlier that like I felt like I needed to like overexert, like I need to like wear myself down because I was just like restless and just like pent up, just like So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because we went for a walk and then found out World War III was starting, and we said it's 6 p.m. We're allowed to start drinking.
Let's have a drink.
So we had a drink and we watched some TV and we had a good evening. It got me out of the funk for sure.
Good.
For sure.
Good.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I wonder how like other people, other relationship, other couples, whatever, deal with that.
I don't know. Probably in a wide array of some healthy, some not healthy. I imagine there are people that probably can't articulate. They just need a moment and it's not personal. I'm sure there are people that, I don't know. Like I said, it's probably a wide spectrum. I mean, I can't even say that I've always been of the do it the healthy way. I'm sure I've been, I'm sure my mom will vouch for that. I've been snappy and, whatever, and later have to come back and be like, okay, I was in a bad mood, whatever. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, use your words, and that helps.
Yeah.
That helps the people in your life know that it's not personal, but that you need a minute.
Yeah.
So.
And then like, there was a point where I was like, man, maybe we like should be like have some sexy time or something, like maybe that could, but I was like, I didn't even feel like doing that either, which is really like, that's, I don't know, like I don't want to say disturbing, but it's just like a weird feeling to be like, I don't even want to have sex right now.
Well, I mean, if you're upset and stressed about shit going on, like I imagine that doesn't charge up one's libido. So
no,
I mean,
not particularly.
If I was in a bad mood and you were just like, hey, I'd have been like,
nah,
I ain't got it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like that's like a movie thing where like someone's upset and the girl is like, do you want me to like take care of you? Or like something like, you know, like suck your dick or something like that. And it's just like, in the moment, I'd be like, no.
Yeah,
no,
I can't.
Like, I'm angry right now.
I can't think of a I can't think of a situation where I'm mad and or upset about something and sex would snap me out of it.
Right.
I couldn't. Yeah. I could. One of them I wouldn't do well. Like either my brain is still going to be turning over what's upsetting me, and you're going to be like, "Hello, like are you here?" Like, no, I couldn't do that.
Agree. But I think I feel like that's like a relatively common like attempt for people because they don't know what else to do.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. And that's just like, girls are just like, all guys want is sex. And it's like, unless we're fucking angry.
Yeah.
It's like, I guarantee you there are times we don't want sex.
Yeah.
Like, believe it or not, we are more complicated than that.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, some people, I don't know. I guess that's probably just like an internet like meme thing, right?
And not to say that there aren't maybe some uncomplicated examples, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a normal reaction to being upset and dangling a sex carrot in front of your face.
Yeah. A sex carrot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Let us know, you guys. How do you help your partner through
A bad day.
a
or
bad
something.
day, you know, a bad mood? Do you leave them alone? I think that's typically like the answer of like, you do your thing, I'm gonna fuck off, you know, like, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want if I'm
Yeah.
in a bad mood.
Me
So
too. I just want to be by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me churn it over in my brain and hash it out 75,000 times, and then I'll come back later and I'll be fine. You know?
Yeah, let me go through the same cycle
Yeah.
of like, fuck this fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we watched Whiplash last night, which you'd never seen before, which blew my mind because it's a music,
Yeah,
a jazz
it's
music movie.
Genuinely right up my alley. I don't know how I missed that.
Me neither. And if you've never seen it, and you're even if you're not a music person, it's a great movie.
Yeah. But you really appreciate it if you are musically inclined in any way.
Yes. Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons, like, oh man, so good.
Yeah.
And we were talking like there are very few like movies or like film, whatever you want to call it, cinematic experiences that are able to like grasp the essence of playing music and like playing in a band and like I don't know, like Drumline. Did you ever see Drumline? Where it was like, all right, this is cool, but you kind of missed
It was
with
a little
like
surface level.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like you didn't really get the aura.
Yeah.
But like that movie gets the aura of band and I assume like high level musician. I don't know.
Two other music quote unquote movies I can think of that really provoke thought on a deeper level. Have you ever seen Mr. Holland's Opus?
What?
Mr. Holland's Opus, 3 words.
No.
It stars Richard Dreyfuss. It came out in maybe like the mid 90s at some point, mid to late 90s. It's more from a band, high school band director's perspective.
Okay.
And it wasn't as intense as Whiplash.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, it was about this man. He'd started teaching in like the 60s, I think. And he had these, you know, aspirations of being like this great music writer, writing this great piece. And, you know, life circumstances necessitated he needed a regular job, you know, a wife, and she got pregnant, got a kid, whatever. And so he started teaching music in school, which wasn't like his ever a dream of his, but then it's like, you know, he ended up doing it for like a career, like until retirement. And then it's like seeing through the, you know, at his retirement, like seeing how many lives he touched through this and how personal he viewed people and their lives and what they were going through at the time that he happened to be in their band. It was really touching. And another movie, I think we've watched it together, Immortal Beloved. It's like a Beethoven biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are. But now, I mean, Whiplash is definitely added into the canon of like one of the great music movies. Because oh my god,
I mean, on a rewatch, I was like, dude, this might be one of my top movies.
Yeah, it's really
ever.
good.
It's so good. I genuinely forgot. Like, I remembered like the beats and like, but I had kind of forgotten like the order that it goes in and just like how it develops. It's like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
And then the ending, it's like you don't really know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
You're like, is this good? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I have no idea. And it does spark a discussion of like. And one of my favorite lines in the movie, J.K. Simmons, he goes, "Good job are the 2 most dangerous words in the English language." And I was like, whoa, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that blew my mind too.
But that hit home with me because that's how I feel about comedy. Where it's like, if you tell someone that didn't do a good job, they did a good job, they're not going to learn to do a better job. So it's like, yeah, he is right. He's not wrong in his philosophy. There is a line, though.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
That's kind of what it explores.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. It's an interesting thing because he got something out of that kid that he wouldn't have reached. I mean, of course it's a movie, so it's embellished, whatever. But there are instances like that. So it's like, like you make a good argument.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But if it was in the moment, I'd be like, no way I'm dealing with this shit.
I mean, J.K. Simmons, and I haven't seen him in that many roles, but the majority of roles I've seen him in, he plays that kind of edgy, like, find your weakness and, like,
Just,
and he did this to, I wouldn't say perfection, because that almost sounds positive, because some of the stuff he says, I remember us watching it going, ooh, like so many times, because it's like, yeah, just he would rip your soul to shreds.
Like he caught him outside of class one day. He was like, "What do your parents do?" You know, he's just kind of like, what's your story?
You think he's like trying to make a connection with the students? He was like, no, he's getting fodder for your weaknesses.
He's just like, that's why your mother left, you piece of shit. And I was like, whoa, dude, damn.
But I also like that. My mom and I have this theory. My mom, plays clarinet. She played through school, and we recently had rejoined like a community wind ensemble, and I've played with groups, whether it be clarinet or singing or whatever. And we've crafted this theory that the best directors have to have a little asshole in them, like have to have that potential, or to be that when it's needed. And it's like that movie kind of like, well, yeah, that checks.
It's in line.
Yeah.
And it even if you're like a sports person, you can watch this movie and be like, oh, I get this, because everybody's had a coach that was just like so hard on them that it was like, is this necessary, dude? But you'll almost always be like, well, that was like my best coach. Like I learned the most from him.
You see the finished product of what you've learned. Yeah.
One of my best teacher that I had in school was my English teacher in high school, and he was so hard on us. He was a dickhead, but it made my college life so much easier because I knew how to write papers and do stuff right. So like it was like, oh, in hindsight, it wasn't that like it was annoying and stuff, but it's like that's how I don't know, man. But it was also a different time. Yeah. Of like you're allowed to like shame people for doing something wrong. Like you can't do that now.
No.
For like
that's why there's so many mediocre people.
100%. So yeah.
But then it begs the question, like, yes, that kind of shaming, borrowing your word, can separate the wheat from the chaff. If you want to use that metaphor of like make the really
old school way of saying that.
Yeah, make the really good, rise to the top and get to a next level, and weed out those that don't have it in them. But at the same time, it's like while watching that movie, and that studio jazz band was fantastic. Even some of the stuff that he claimed was like under tempo, over tempo, or wrong note, or out of pitch, I was like, I don't even hear that. Like, it sounded great to me. But so it's like, yes, his very soul crushing methods yield results, but at the same time, it's like, and again, this is a movie, but nobody in that band looked like they were enjoying it. Everybody looked scared to death.
Right.
So it's like, is it worth taking the joy out of something to make it good? Because at the end of the day, arts, it's supposed to do something for you. It's supposed to, salve other trauma in your life. It's supposed to take you to another place. It's supposed to make you feel something. And it's like, if you're feeling nothing but fear, is that really the goal in that movie's case?
Fear is a hell of a motivator.
For sure. I mean, well, when your life is in danger, yes, but...
I mean, when you work for that, it's like true. It's your whole career. It's like you've worked for this pretty much your whole life. Like most of those people, if you've reached that level, you've probably been playing your instrument since you were a kid. Yeah. And it's like, that's probably your only skill, like if we're being honest. So, yeah, man, it's intense. Especially that, like, I imagine musicians and like jazz, whatever, is like very cutthroat in the sense of like, there's probably not a lot of money in it unless you're like one of the best. Yeah. And so like, what's the point of doing it unless you're going to try to be one of the best, because otherwise you're just going to fail financially anyway.
That depends on what your goal is or why you're there, because making music in and of itself, whether it results in income or notoriety, is fulfilling still.
Apparently not for everybody.
Well, not for everybody, obviously, but I don't know. Like, I watching that movie, I was like, could I have taken that? Like, if I were in that band, and I don't know that I could have. That level of soul crushing, woo.
But I don't know. But it's like, we also, I don't know how you are, but I don't have a thing of like, I want to be one of the greats.
No, yeah.
Like Miles Teller's character, like literally broke up with his girl because he's like, I don't have time for you.
You're going to be a distraction.
You're going to be a distraction, and I want to be one of the best of all time. It's like, I've never, like, I would love to be like really good at what I do, but I've never been like, I want to be one of the best of all time
on this earth. Yeah.
That is like quite the goal. But it's like, hey, if that's what you want to do, like, I guess that's the path. Like, I don't know, man. It's pretty intense. And I kind of like, there's that new Jordan Peele movie we were talking about yesterday that's about sports, and it's kind of like in line with this, where it's like, how much do you want to sacrifice, like, to be one of the best? And it's like, I don't know, man. Is it worth it?
No. I don't know.
For some people, I'm sure it is.
I guess.
But go watch that movie. That's an awesome movie.
It's on.
Won an Oscar
on Paramount. That's where we watched it, right? Yeah.
Won an Oscar, I think.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised he was supporting. I mean, I guess Miles Teller is
he's a star.
The star, but
it won editing, because the editing is crazy in the movie. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I would have thought that they would be co-top billing, like, because I feel like. Yeah, Miles Teller.
He's on screen more.
But I mean, J.K. was almost in every scene too. But yeah, I don't know. I guess.
I mean, that role would have made or broke that movie.
J.K.'s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't get the right person, that would have ruined the movie. It would have been way different. So, but I guess that's why he won the award, and Miles Teller didn't. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, go watch that. Let's start our first news topic here. Piggybacking off one of our oldest topics on this podcast, if you've been around for a while. This headline reads, a boyfriend's flatulence led to a 7-year sinus infection. All right, let's read the thing first. In one of the strangest medical cases in recent memory, Christine Connell shared how she developed a 7-year sinus infection after unintentionally inhaling E. coli bacteria due to her boyfriend's flatulence in 2018. While recovering from ankle surgery, her compromised immune system allowed the bacteria to settle deep in her sinuses. Doctors only discovered the cause years later, and now she faces surgery to remove the lingering infection. A rare but real reminder of how unexpected bacteria exposure can turn serious. So, I gotta know what, like, just farting in general? You have E. coli in your farts? Is that normal, or did he eat, like, bad lettuce from Chipotle?
I have questions too, because, and I genuinely don't know, but I thought that E. coli, I did not realize E. coli was airborne. And if it's not airborne, then how did this get in her nose? Or somebody not washing their ass, not washing their hands?
Or, like,
what is happening here?
Is this, like, their thing? You know?
What is their thing?
Where she's just like, fart in my face, you dirty you dirty motherfucker. That's what I love. Just fart in my face.
Hold up. Is E. coli airborne? No, it's not. It's don't. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna screenshot it because it's gonna keep listening to me. Stop. Okay. It says no. E. coli is not an airborne illness. It is typically spread through contaminated food, but it can also pass from person to person. Okay, so they nasty. When I saw this, obviously sent it to you first, and I was like, but no, they nasty.
Nah, yeah. There's something. There's something going on. That's not like a dude like farting in the hallway, and then she walks past, and it's like, ugh, like
somebody ain't washing their ass, ain't washing their hands. Oh god, I'm so grossed out now.
Also, how come when you're recovering from ankle surgery, you have a compromised immune system?
I would hazard a guess
that
when you have a surgery that's opened your ass up, not literal ass, they give you antibiotics to help the incision not get infected,
and that affects your immune system.
Perhaps,
okay,
yeah.
I guess.
Or it could have been like a steroid component, because steroids diminish or suppress your immune system. Maybe she was on that for something, and who knows?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of other factors that it's not just like I'm healthy and so is my boyfriend and he farted and I sniffed it, and no. They're like I said, there's some weird shit going on.
Nasty. Yes, there's weird shit going on, but also they nasty. One or both of them is nasty.
Also, how did they determine that it came from the flatulence? Like you're saying, like, it could be like like they just didn't wash their hands, or like they were like wiped and then picked their nose. Like I don't know where E. coli comes from. Like that's like the thing you hear is like outbreak, and like I said, like Chipotle, like their lettuce had like issues, or like you hear it like that stuff like that. So it's like I thought you had to like ingest it for it to be an issue.
Yeah, that's what I just read.
Yeah, but how do they determine? Like I said, how do they determine it's? See, this is bullshit. This is a lie. This is anti-fart propaganda.
Well, it sounds like she had
AFPs. This is AFP. This is nonsense.
It sounds like she's had a thing off and on for a while. Sinus section off and on. Wait, did I misread? Developed sinus intentionally inhaling. Like again. See, the use of inhaling makes it almost imply that it's airborne. No, bitch, you put that up in your nose some kind of way. Either you used a towel or touched his hand and dug in your nose. Something.
But like, if they're like well, okay, let's okay. The most logical thing that happened is she was recovering from ankle surgery. She's on the couch, right? Boyfriend walks by, grabs her head, puts it in his ass, and farts.
His naked ass?
I don't know. Let's go with the most likely scenario, and I don't think that's the most likely scenario. I think the most likely scenario is he had like a pair of shorts on with underwear, like normal.
Okay.
And they just kind of laughed, and she was like, "That's gross. I'm gonna divorce you," and telling lies and all that shit. And then, like a week later, she's like all like stuffed up, But I don't understand how you have a 7-year sinus. That makes it sound like you're like sick for 7 years.
That also could contribute to why her immune system was compromised. Because if she was fighting an infection, or maybe she got antibiotics for the first time and she thought it killed it, but maybe there was a little bit lingering, that chips away at your immune system too. So,
or yeah, I mean, maybe they're like,
especially if she was never able to recover, your immune system is constantly in fight mode.
E. coli.
Oh. I'm trying to think what the most likely scenario was.
It's the most likely scenario is sexual.
Sexual, or he probably like took a poop and wiped, and maybe something touched his fingernail or something. He didn't wash it too good, and then went and made her some food, and oh god.
But even then, but if you eat it, you wouldn't.
That would be your digestive tract.
It wouldn't be a sinus infection.
He probably made some tacos or some sandwiches, and she was touched it and eating it, and they had to dig out a flag out of her nose. Oh my god.
My other question is, I didn't know that you could remove an infection with surgery. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, how can...
I don't either.
Like, a body part got infected. Like, you just cut that part. I don't know. Like, that's weird. I don't know.
I don't
understand.
If it lasted for 7 years...
Does it grow?
I'm guessing antibiotics were not
an
doing
option.
any
Wow.
doing anything at that point. They probably, I was gonna say they had to open her up and rinse some shit out. I don't know, but I genuinely don't know. Yeah, how do you remove unless there was some necrosis setting? I don't know. All
right,
I'm just getting so grossed out now.
Is this a divorceable offense? Okay, is it a break-upable offense, and is it a divorceable offense? Because those are two different things. I'd say this is probably a break-upable offense.
Yes.
If you're married,
and you done something unhygienic that caused this, yeah. Because then what?
if you're saying this is a divorceable offense?
Oh no, I said break-upable.
Oh
offense.
yeah, definitely break-upable offense.
Divorceable.
Because
Ooh.
it's like now I have to do this on my own health insurance. And like, I don't even know if you're gonna help me, but if you're married, it's like we have a joint bank account. We got like health insurance
I feel like
together.
If I were her and was married to this person, I'd be like, "You need to wash better." And I got one more fucking time to get a sinus infection, and we're calling a lawyer.
You better hope I don't get any more sinus infections the rest of my life.
If I get sick, you are on the top of the suspects list. So, I mean, depending on how long she goes without being sick after this,
right,
I think is a major factor in how long they're going to continue to be married. They're not married here, but that would be me. Yeah. Ooh. What about you?
I don't like with you. I wouldn't break up with you over this.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I'm better off with you than with, I think, anybody else I'll come across.
Wow. Okay.
Or that I can convince to be with me. I think my odds. Yeah, I think my chances of being happy are far greater with you than anybody else.
7 years of compromising your health, though, because of my hygienic negligence.
7 years of sick days.
Or that, yeah.
I think I would
what
just...
if this caused you to get fired from a job because you were using too much sick leave or something? Like,
well, hopefully you covered me through that. Then, we're still together after like the 7 years. I lost my job, and I'm like, well, I'm
are you
just
talking
sick
about
all the
marriage
time.
or just boyfriend girlfriend?
Boyfriend girlfriend. It's like I'm sick all the time.
How would I be able to cover? You can't insure someone you're not married to.
But it's just like covering like rent and like bills, like shit like that. Oof. Like, yeah, hell, like medical expenses is one thing, but other expenses is like I can cover that. Like you're obviously like, but I don't know. It's like how.
If you literally found out that after 7 years, your health was compromised because I was not washing myself properly, that would be a breakupable offense?
I'd be very surprised because I know how well you clean. And I think I'd play politics in this and be like,
Also,
I'll stay with you, but I want some extra shit.
Like,
I don't know, a stipend.
Wow. So then at what point, what would be the incentive for the offending party to stay?
Would be the incentive for the offending party to stay?
Yeah.
Because you did this to them. Don't you feel any shame or guilt at all? That's crazy.
I mean,
I would be like,
should, yeah.
I'd be like, we can stay together, but once a year, you have to go try to pull a threesome for me.
Oh, my God.
Successful or not, you have to at least try.
No. I'd be like, then I guess we just going to have to break up then.
But it's like this is the kind of shit where it's like, oh, I have gravity now. Like I have something I can work with in this.
I might just have to live with the guilt then, and be like, I'll help you back.
You could go deal with your own medical issues. See ya. I'm not doing that. It's so funny. That is the level of like, oh well, then you have to like pay my bills for 7 years, or like, because that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like your fart caused me 7 years of sickness. Like you have to make this up to me in some way.
Also, if a fart is expelling E. coli, that means it's not just air.
It's juicy. Yeah, dog. That's you can hear it come out, or it's like spits a little.
I can't.
Yeah, there would have to be like some kind of like moisture molecule, right?
Okay,
Like
I can't
water.
with the word please don't say moist.
I said moisture. That's not moist. It's different.
Still the same. I can't.
But like you
I
get
hate that
what
word.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
the E. coli would have had to have lived in something. Like you said, it's not airborne, so it has to be in like water or a solid.
I would literally feel my mouth juicing up. No. Ugh.
All right, we'll move on.
Thank you. Whew, I did not realize when I found that it was gonna take such a even more disgusting turn.
So good, so good. All right, so a few episodes ago, I don't remember exactly when we were talking.
A couple episodes. I think.
We were talking about tipping culture.
fatigue.
I gotta be honest, I was expecting more backlash, but
For what?
nobody listens. For me being like, "Fuck them."
No, I think everybody. Oh, you mean for the taxing on no taxes on tips?
Yeah, for me being like, no, they can't just skirt by without paying income tax. I don't care how much. I don't care what your job is. Like servers, you're not that important to us.
You must not know very many people personally who are currently servers.
I do.
Currently?
George.
And he didn't rip you into one?
I don't care. He probably agrees with me. Why do you think you? Whatever. We went over it. You have to pay income tax. That's a stupid thing to think you don't deserve to pay income tax. But, so basically, restaurants are. I don't even know what to call this.
A living wage fee.
But here's the thing. So, all right, I guess we can just, you want to read this one?
Sure. Some California restaurants, especially in Los Angeles, the Bay Area, and San Diego, have started quietly adding an 18% quote living wage fee to your check. They claim it supports payroll, but critics say it's a hidden surcharge that inflates your costs without updating menu prices. And guess what? You usually don't see it until the bill hits the table. If they don't disclose it up front, that's illegal under California's new pricing law. Takeaways. 18% mandatory fee, usually not included in menu pricing. Customers often see it at the checkout. Oh, this is just recapping what I just read. Reddit confirms it's deceptive and unexpected. Yeah. California law SB 478, effective July 1st, bans hidden fees. Restaurants must clearly list all surcharges up front or face penalties.
Which, that's pretty easy. You just put a sign up like that says 18%, whatever. But here's my problem.
Okay.
They're like, oh, it pays for the weight helps pay for payroll. But it's like, aren't most of your employees tipped? And you're not even paying them out of your profits. So it's like, why do you have to do this? Exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
To me, this sounds like the restaurants just want to pocket more money.
And
because I don't hardly think that they're passing that on more to the servers. However, like what was last year, a couple years ago, where it was a ballot measure, I think, where minimum wage fast food workers, I think it was very specific, were, they upped their hourly wage, and the result, unfortunately, was that menu prices went up.
Yep.
So it almost feels like restaurants are salty, and this is their way of collecting offsetting the fact that they have to pay their people more. But I'm just like, okay, well, now you're putting your servers in the middle because your customers are going to be like, well, I don't have to tip no more, because that's how I would feel.
You know how people, like some years ago, they'd be like, actually, I think this is a Joe Rogan quote, not to be fucking weird, but he said, like, the country has a mental illness issue masked as a gun issue, which I agree with. Yeah. And I think this is kind of in the same line as, like, it's like there's a poverty issue there's a greed issue that's masked by the poverty issue, where it's like, if you just weren't so greedy in the amount of money that your top level person gets, you wouldn't have to do this shit to people. If you would just pay your people more, you don't have to do this stuff.
Exactly.
So like,
exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
It's a greed thing. That's all it is. It's greed from the top down, and even the servers, they want more too, right? I don't blame them.
Well, everything costs more. It's
them.
just like a vicious cycle, yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't know, man. People just have to. If you want to have a successful business, you're gonna have to cut the top level. Like, I don't understand why that's not obvious to people. Where it's like,
especially big corporations.
It's like you can't cut $2 million off of your $17 million thing plus your bonus that you get. It's like, dog, like, imagine distributing that amongst your 5,000 employees, $2 million over 5,000 employees. It's going to change people's lives.
It's going to change their lives, and it's going to be better for your business in the long run, because if you have happy employees that aren't overworked, having to work 2 or 3 jobs to scrape by, they're going to call off less. They're going to be happy. They're going to stay there longer. They might be there for 10, 12 years. You're not recidivism. That's prison, but
tomato.
What's the word I'm looking for? The
turnover
rate is going to be less. Like, everybody wins. But no, like you said, greed trumps all.
Yeah, and it's more prevalent now than I think ever before. But what do you do? I mean, what are we supposed to do about it?
Like I said, I feel like this is creating a situation between, restaurants. It's making servers be caught in the crossfire between consumers and the restaurant owners.
Yeah, because if I'm paying this 18%,
then I'm not going to tip you.
For sure.
And it's like the poor server didn't institute this, but they're the ones that are going to feel the backlash the most from this.
Well, the good thing is, as a server, you could probably go find another serving job somewhere else.
Yeah,
if your company starts doing this and you start seeing less tips, go somewhere else. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Like, there are plenty of serving jobs, probably.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I imagine there are.
Well,
plenty.
they're always available because nobody ever stays in them very long because they're treated shittily. So
right. So that's how I feel. It's just.
I was looking at some of the comments, and
insane
there were some people, the majority of people were like, well, I guess no tip is, and then some people were like, well, but that's fucked up. You can obviously tell they were servers, but it was definitely a polarized response.
This guy, I recently saw a takeout fee. Wasn't much, but how does that make sense when I'm driving out of my house to go get food and pick it? We talk about this all the time. Where, like, if we're going somewhere and we're picking up the food,
you don't get a tip.
You don't get a tip. Yeah, if you just make the food, put it in a bag, and put it on the counter.
Well, they're not even making it. Well, that person in theory that you'd be tipping it did not make the food. They literally set your box that came from the kitchen into a bag and handed it to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's not like the cooks get part of those
tips. Which to me, it's like, why aren't cooks getting the tips? They're the ones making the damn thing.
For real. That's actually a point.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when we just went to the sushi spot down the street, we saw that they had a sign posted that charged you for takeout boxes. Yep. Like, if you have leftovers, it was like $1, $2, something like that.
It was more than it should have been.
It shouldn't be anything.
It's like a styrofoam box costs $1.50? I don't think so, dude.
So either you're trying to tell people to waste food and not take it home, or overeat.
Which is fine.
And also, what prompted that? Like, usually when people start charging fees, it's because people are being abusive or like, who's asking for more boxes than they need? Like, why is this a thing that you guys are nickel and diamond for it? That blew my mind.
Yeah, I have never been at a restaurant with somebody, and granted, like, we hang out with, like, pretty normal people. Yeah. Like, we don't hang out with people that would be like, oh, I'm gonna take like 6 of these so that I can use them as, like, we typically don't hang out with people that are like that, but there are people like that are like, I'm going to use this so I can take my food to work, and, like, not, like, have to use a plate from home or whatever, Tupperware or whatever. Yeah. Like, so I'm sure it is a thing, but that's like one of those things where it's like, you just eat that as a restaurant. That's a cost of doing business. It's a cost of doing business. Exactly.
If more restaurants started doing that, charging for takeout boxes, the way I would pull up with some, because I always carry a big part, I would pull up with a Tupperware, a big Ziploc bag in my purse so quick.
I think the move is to ask for your bill and then ask for the box.
That wouldn't stop them from taking your bill out and tacking more on it. That's been
why I'll already sign it and pay it, and then I'll ask for the box.
Then they'll be like,
it's $1.50, and I'll be like, I'm not. No, can I talk to your manager? That's crazy. Like, immediately I would be like, I need to talk to your manager. That's crazy. Wild. That's insane.
Yeah.
To charge for a box.
Yeah.
Like, they're lucky that I was hungry that day. I went to
Yeah.
town on that ramen.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a problem.
For sure. So, yeah.
So 18% is a lot, too.
That's what a standard tip is.
Yeah. Nowadays, which is weird.
Nowadays.
Now, I mean, it used to be 10% was normal.
Was it?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was 15 for normal and then 20 for better.
I think 10% is like baseline. Anything above that is because you went above and beyond that.
Oh, interesting.
I'll
Okay.
still tip 10% if you're like just doing, if you're, like I said, if you're just baselining it and like you're not giving me personality or like, or if I just don't like you, 10%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sorry. Be better.
I usually do, some 15 to 18 if it's baseline, and then, more if more. But if I get shitty service, and I learned this from my mom, because some people, like, if you get shitty service, they just won't put anything. They'll put a 0.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, my mom's thing is like, no, I'm going to put like $1 or, 5 cents.
Oof.
Because she's like, I don't want you to think I forgot to tip you. I want you to know that I didn't forget, but I thought your service was shitty.
I was very aware.
Yes.
And this is what you earned.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I also think I like kind of on the other end of the spectrum. I don't like we can't do one or the other. It has to be like all in. I think more jobs should be tipped sometimes. Like, just think about my job as a behavior therapist. If like I go into a home and I do a good job and a family tips me like $20 at the end of the session on top of what I get already, I'm like, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I'm going to go and I'm going to try harder for that family. So, that's the truth. Because you show appreciation to me monetarily.
Incentivizes your performance
Exactly.
in the future. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's just one example.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will never get tipped for my job.
well, no. But
they already think we're taking their money unjustly anyway.
Yeah,
so.
but like, you don't like, you do work with the public, but it's not like a constant, like daily, like you're helping someone out.
Not the
like
same
in the moment.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Nurses, I don't know. Doctors should tip their nurses. That's how I feel.
Real talk.
They should give, and I'm sure some of them do like stuff at the end of the year where they're like, here, like for help me out during the year. I'm sure some of them do, but I don't know. I think there's room for that too, but ultimately I think we should just do away with tipping.
But you know what's sad though? In most industries, aside from restaurants, there is a rule that you can't accept more than, I think it's like $20 or $25, unless you like either share it with your whole staff or, you have to claim it as income. Yeah. So also, because I know sometimes at work, we solve somebody's problem after they've been given the runaround, and they'd be like, oh, I'm a cater something or bring donuts or, cookie. It has to be for the whole office. It cannot be to one person. And even if it has been to one person, they end up just sharing it with the whole office just to avoid any
issue. Yeah. I don't know. It's, I was just thinking of something too. It had something to do with it.
There's some other government employee that's accepting planes apparently. So
yeah, well,
what's up with that?
Man, what the fuck was that? There was something. Lost it.
Oh,
it's pointless. It's gone. It'll come back to me when we're done recording. I'm sure.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. And isn't like most of Europe, they don't tip, right? In Europe,
I've heard that about Asian countries. I don't know about European ones. Like tipping is just not a thing.
Right.
And it's like, can we adopt that?
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure also in those countries, they probably pay their people well and they have, universal health care. They have benefits, way more benefits than we do. So
communist, socialist.
Well, I mean,
I have no idea. It sounds better.
They probably still get more bang for their tax buck than we do.
Probably. Yep. Anything else?
No.
No, I don't think so.
feels like a short episode.
Yeah.
Look, let me do like you did me a couple of weeks ago. Are you sure there's nothing else that you want to share?
Anything you want to share? I'm way better at it than you.
I was doing it.
You don't know how to. You don't know how to put it on. Put someone on the spot.
I was doing it exaggeratedly to show you how you made me feel. You sure there's nothing you want to share with the class?
I'm not scared. I got nothing to hide. All right, let's get out of here. We got plenty of stuff to do today. Still, we're playing D&D today.
Finally,
it's been a long time.
Schedules. We're playing it today.
Yeah, we're gonna log on to everybody else not there.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
it'll be good. It'll all work out. We always think the worst. All right, folks. Stay safe out there.
Yes. Even though we know that you consume us on a form of social media, but for your own mental health, maybe avoid a little bit of news right now.
Yep.
If you know, you know, and I'm sure you know.
Or I don't know. This seems like one of the times where you're like, I should probably stay up to date on shit. like.
Yeah. Well, now
I don't know. Like.
Yeah.
Good luck on your draft dodging.
Well, that's and luck needs to sit with you too.
I'm out, dude. There's no way they accept me. We've gone over this before. There's no way they accept a 33-year-old overweight,
able-bodied man.
There's no way.
I hope
I'm way too smart. Also, they would never put me on the front lines. So I'll play a drone.
I genuinely hope that is the case, but
definitely the case. You send the dummies out first.
Well, then can we send the dummy in chief? But sorry.
Yeah, what happened to the kings leading their armies? Get out there, Trump. Get on the front lines. I wanted to see you firing an M16 at the fucking.
I've always been a firm believer, even before Trump was a thing, that those that are signing the order / voting to go to war, you or your kid should go first.
You should.
Because I feel like you'd be more inclined to come up with a more peaceable solution if you have if you had skin in the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I do kind of feel like, man, if the president was over there fucking shooting cannons and shit, we'd be like, all right. Okay, historically,
not now.
we'd be like, oh damn, George H.W. is in there trying to find Saddam Hussein himself.
That at least conveys that they have conviction to their orders.
Yeah, they're like, I believe in this wholeheartedly.
Exactly,
I'll put my own life on the line for it. Yeah, dude, you got to respect kings in that regard. They are out there.
For sure,
that's crazy. I never actually thought about that. What was the King Richard III was the last one that died on a battlefield. It's like, why would you take that chance? In hindsight, it's like, why would you do that? But you needed to get your people.
Power of conviction,
yeah, because otherwise they're like, I don't. He doesn't even Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's so interesting.
Also, I mean, patriotism obviously hit different back then.
For sure.
To where more people in general had pride in their convictions to where they would risk life and limb to defend it. And it's like,
at least this war that we're kind of getting involved in now, at least it's country versus country again, as
opposed to
ideology versus ideology. When we were fighting ISIS, it was what does that even mean? How do you know? You can't just look at someone and be like, they're a terrorist. Versus the civilian.
Right.
How could you tell? So I didn't like that because it was I don't know what we're fighting. We're fighting an ideology. It's that's weird. We're fighting a religion. Okay, that's weird. But to be it's Iran versus Israel versus United States. It's okay, I get that there are boundaries.
I guess.
That makes sense to me at least. So at the very least, it's easier to understand. There's a leader at each place.
It's
that's
easier
talking
to
shit.
distinguish sides, but I don't know that I understand it.
Well,
per se.
then that might not be the right word, but you get what I'm saying. It's just it's more. I don't want to say it's more palatable either, but it's just I guess I can follow along better. Yeah. Because when we were fighting ISIS, they were in Afghanistan and then they were in Iraq, and then it's well, where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So. Anywho's, so stay safe out there. Watch your heads. Watch for ballistic missiles.
And protect your peace.
Yeah. Do your best.
Yeah.
But also, if people are stupid, let them know that they're stupid. That's where I'm at.
Also, something you were doing this week. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was having a good time.
So I hear.
Yeah. And don't plan on stepping down at all. So let them know how dumb they are. Anyway, follow us on Instagram.
At Eb_Nick.
Yep, and you can get me at Willie_D20, twitch.tv/William_D20. Ontario Improv, July 27th. You can get your tickets now, improv.com/Ontario. If you're listening to this as it comes out, this Thursday I'll be at Back to the Grind for the showcase. So if you're in the... Fucking stop, Bo. If you're in the Riverside area, come see me do stand-up at a nice little coffee shop down there. All right, that does it for us. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.